What is up, guys? My name is Augustine from DFO, also known as Bit of Football Opinions on Instagram, and we're back with another video, another prediction video. This time we're going to be predicting the Serie A 2021 season. So let's get this thing started. So we're back with another prediction video, and this time it's going to be a little bit of a different one. Last time I teamed up with my friend CFO. Do leave a thumbs up. We went very in depth. We talked about teams, players, and everything to watch out for. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing Serie A, and I'm just going to be doing top 9, and it's going to be a little bit of a speed round. I'm not going to be talking about every single team. I'm just going to talk about my top 9, a little bit about each, and why I think they're going to get to where I'm going to put them, and then we're going to move on. It's going to be a much shorter video, so why don't we go ahead and get this thing started. Starting off at my number 8 and number 9, it's really between these two teams, Sassuolo and Fiorentina. Now, where do I put each? Let's look at Fiorentina, and then let's look at Sassuolo. Logically, I think Fiorentina has had the much better transfer market. They've done a lot better this summer. It's interesting too because they've signed 2 players from Sassuolo, Alfred Duncan and then Rolla. Alfred Duncan had a pretty good season last year, and he's definitely a good signing. They're both kind of on the young side as well, so it's definitely going to help Fiorentina out. But then Fiorentina have also signed Bonaventura from Milan and Borja Valera from Inter. 2 signings that, yeah, sure, they're old players, but will definitely come in handy for the short-term success. If you look at it logically, yes, Fiorentina have had the better transfer market this summer. Sassuolo have not been very active this summer transfer. So logically, you think that Fiorentina were going to do better, but not entirely. Sassuolo didn't really need to go crazy on this whole summer transfer. They have an established team. They have great players on the pitch. They just have to make everything flourish. I think they play slightly better football than Fiorentina does, and I think they have a player that is going to make the difference this season. I'm talking about Caputo. If you haven't seen him play, this guy doesn't get the credit he deserves, and I think this is a season where he's going to be shining. I said this in the beginning of the season. The season started already, and you can already see him flourish and rack up goals like crazy. It's unbelievable that he's been doing what he's doing at this Sassuolo side. Another big factor is that Sassuolo has about 6 easy games in the beginning, and I think starting the competition in the right way will definitely set them apart of Fiorentina. That's why I have Fiorentina finishing at 9th. Yes, logically, Fiorentina had the better transfer market, but Sassuolo didn't really need those signings as much as Fiorentina did. I think Sassuolo have a better team, and they have better chances of finishing higher. So Fiorentina 9th, Sassuolo 8th. Moving into my 7th, this is such a disappointing one. I'm gonna put Roma. After having such an inconsistent, shaky season last year where they finished 5th, they missed out on UCL football. The board and the team just haven't done any major signings. Sure, they signed Pedro, 33 years old. You know, he can still kind of bring in something despite his age, and you know, with his experience, he could be kind of like a Ribery signing. But other than that, they haven't done anything major or anything that can get me to say, oh yeah, this side can challenge for top 4 despite the competition. No, they had a very shaky last season, a season to forget, and you would think that they would get their stuff together this upcoming season during the transfer market, but not really. Zaniolo got injured in the beginning of the league, I think before it even started. He broke his ACL, which is an injury that he already had now on the other leg, and apparently the surgery went well. So, but it's just very concerning that one of their best players has 2 ACL injuries already at such a young age. We might see one of these cases where it's a great player with great potential, but his injuries don't let him flourish. Zaniolo is an amazing player. I've wanted him at Juventus 100%, but you never know. He might just be an injury-prone player that will never fulfill his potential. I obviously wish him the best, but it's just very concerning for Roma. Another factor is that they let go of Under. They let him go to Leicester City. Under wasn't exactly a first-team player, but I still think he could have developed a little bit better at Roma since he was already kind of fit into the league and the team, and they could have always used him for that squad depth, you know? But yeah, letting go of Under and just doing very bad business, I think their whole situation is just going to go under. That's why I have Roma finishing up at 7th. We might be seeing a huge decline on what it once was a great team, even in Europe. To me, the Italian Giants will go down to 7th. Very disappointing, and we're going to move on to 6th. This is fitting because, speaking of disappointment, I got Lazio. I got Lazio finishing at 6th, and that might just be the unpopular opinion of this whole video. Let's start talking about why. I think Lazio are the most underwhelming side out of the top 4 from last year, out of Juve, Inter, and Atalanta. I think Lazio haven't done any major signings, and I think, sure, maybe they haven't done anything major because their team's already established, because they already have established players that know the league well. Everybody's great individually, right? And as a team-wise as well. As you guys know, they gave Juventus a hard fight last season until they crumbled at the end. But I just don't think Luis Alberto, Immobile, and a lot of other players will have the season that they had last year. Their last season was incredible. They had everything. They had all the right to go ahead and win it, win the whole title ahead of Juventus. They crumbled when it mattered, and I think that's just gonna mess up their motivation and their morale. I don't think the players believe that they can do what they did last season, let alone do it better and challenge for the title. I think they're gonna fall because of their motivation. I think maybe they could perhaps go for Coppa Italia or maybe reach a little bit of a far stage in UCL, but I don't see them competing for the league. I don't see them as my title contenders, and I think eventually down the line, they're gonna go down as 6th place. A big factor is that a lot of other teams are improving a lot, so they're on their way up while Lazio is staying behind. In football, if you don't make any changes and you're not constantly improving, you're not just staying in the same spot, you're falling behind. And that's what will happen to Lazio. If I can bring up anything great about Lazio, I think Milinkovic-Savic will have a great season individually. He's maybe one of the positives that I can take from this Lazio team. I mean, I'm not saying that the rest will have a bad season. I'm just saying that they won't have the season they had last year. That's why I have them at 6. Moving on to number 5, I've got AC Milan. I already spoke about AC Milan quite a lot during this whole transfer market, but I gotta talk about them once again. This is such a weird one to rate because I got people predicting they'll be in top 6, then top 4. I got people even saying that they can challenge for the title. Now, I think that's a little bit of an overstatement, but I'm not underrating them either, I think. We gotta speak about how they managed to keep Ibrahimovic in the team for one more season, and you might be thinking this is not a big deal. Yes, we know that he can score goals, yes, he's a great striker, but he's also kind of developed a leadership role in the team. The players look up to him, and just having him in the locker room is a huge morale boost for the team. And we also gotta bring up the fact that they signed Tonali. It's such a great player, but that's not the best part. The part that brings my attention is the fact that they never backed out from the race. Inter, Juventus, a lot of other teams outside of Italy were trying to sign Tonali, and the fact that Milan never backed out from the race, that means, to me, that they are here to improve. They're not messing around anymore. They mean what they're doing. They're trying to build up a side that will reign in Italy for years and years to come. And this is the start of their project, the whole Milan project, to be back on top. It starts now. It starts by signing Tonali. It starts by keeping Ibrahimovic. It started a while back by signing Pioli as a manager, getting the right man for the job. And I think this Milan side is one of the sides that is going up. Like I mentioned when I talked about Lazio, there's a lot of teams here that are on their way up. They're improving as a team. Milan is one of them. I can possibly see them challenge for top 4, or if everything goes well for them since the beginning, I can see them going even higher. But if I'm going to keep it realistic, I think I'm going to put them at 5th, just because a lot of other sides are a little bit better. But I don't see this as a failure. If anything, I see it as a success. The thing about climbing back up to where you once were is you gotta take it slow, you gotta be patient, you gotta have a project, and that's what Milan are doing. I got them finishing out 5th, not a failure, but a good step-by-step project that the Milan board are doing. Best of luck to them. Moving into number 4, we got a very similar one. I got Napoli. Napoli is another side that are on their way up. They got a good project going. They've done quite remarkable things in this summer transfer. First, before we talk about the signings, we have to talk about how Gattuso, I think he's the right man for the job. I think winning the Coppa Italia last year to Juventus, even though it was kind of like, you know, semifinals and the final were played right after the Corona outbreak and whatever, when football just came back, maybe it wasn't the most privileged trophy, all things considered, but they got the trophy. They won against Juventus in penalties, and I think that managed to get the board, the players, and the whole team get behind Gattuso and trust him as a manager and person he is. With that being said, I think their morale is going to go up. I think their motivation to do something great is going to get even higher. I think they're going to go out again for Coppa Italia, and I think they can challenge for top 4, possibly, like I said, for Milan, possibly even go higher if all things go well for them since the beginning. We got to bring up that they made the biggest signing of their club history by signing Osimhen from Lille, 77 million euros. Like I said, club record fee. I haven't seen much of this player, but the little I've seen proves me that I think this player will fit into the team instantly. With the likes of Insigne, Callejon, Mertens, Kielinski, and the rest of the team, I think this team means business. I think they can make it far in the league. I think they can surprise a lot of people, and I don't think anybody should rule them out. Another big factor before I move on, Chucky Lozano, Mexican youngster, didn't have the best season last year because the whole Napoli team kind of crumbled in the first half of the season last year. I think this is his year. I think he's going to show Europe the potential that he's got. I think he's going to flourish this season under Gattuso, and I think he's going to have his best season yet in Europe. This is Chucky Lozano's year, in my opinion, and I think he'll help Napoli and everybody else shine and make it far this season. Let's move on to number 3. At 3rd, I got Atalanta. Now, I have absolutely no doubts this side will not lose any motivation. Their morale will not go down after that UCL run where they disappointedly lost to PSG right in the last 5 minutes. I don't think their motivation is going to go away at all. They managed to keep their players. Like I said many times, I don't think any other major players is going to want to leave. I think they want to stay in Atalanta and keep their legacy going. Everybody in Italy knows that Atalanta, you do not mess around with them, because you fuck around and you next thing you know, you're down 6-0. They have a good system, they have good tactics, they have a great manager that understands the philosophy and how the team works. They're an established team that are to be feared, and I don't think we're going to see any signs of them getting worse than they've done in the last 2 seasons. Maybe they won't do better and maybe get to like second or first place, but I don't see them going down. That's why I got them consistently at third. Last season they made it to third. I got them finishing third once again, just right behind the 2 teams that I got ahead. Who knows how they're going to do in UCL? That's a little bit of a risky prediction if I were to say something, but I got them doing very well domestically because that's just what Atalanta do. So watch out for Atalanta, guys. Don't let them surprise you. Don't say I didn't say anything. And we're going to move on to the top 2. Oh boy, the big debate, Inter and Juventus. Juventus and Inter. Who do I put first? Who do I put second? As the Juventus fan that I am, I tried my best to not be biased. I tried my best to look at all the factors. It was such a hard decision. I legit was writing the whole notes on my notebook, and I had Juventus first, and then I had Inter first, and then I switched around, and then it was a mess. It's very hard. Everybody's saying that if anybody's gonna finish Juventus's domination, it's gotta be Inter, and it's gotta be this year. Let's talk about Inter first. They've made such a major key signing. They have Vidal, and just to add to that amazing midfield, Vidal, Nainggolan, Eriksen, Varela, Sensi, Vecino, Jesus Christ, like they have the midfield that Juventus dreamed of last season. They have established strikers Lukaku and Martinez, who just work so well together, and under Conte's system, this team is so well put. We gotta bring up the fact that they signed Hakimi, a player that is suited for this Conte system, so I think he's gonna fit into the league, into the team right away. So I think Inter have everything that it takes for them to finish first, right? Let's talk about Juventus before I say anything. Now Juventus, as you guys know, have a new manager, they have a new system. Pirlo came in, completely changed everything. He was not here to mess around. He did not take any time to, kind of take it slow or anything. He came into the team, did his signings, and completely changed around the formation. With Sarri, Juventus played a 4-3-3, a shitty attempt at a 4-3-3, if I dare say. And then just Pirlo came in, and now if any of you have seen Juventus, we play like a 3-3-4 with just very attacking fullbacks, which is why I'm counting them as forwards. And then whenever we don't have the ball, the whole team shifts into a 4-4-1-1, where one of the attacking fullbacks goes back to the back line, and then Kulusevski or whoever's the secondary striker goes back to defend to a 4-4-1-1, so just leave Ronaldo up top. You just have to see it to kind of understand it. It's kind of weird. But I've got to praise Pirlo for doing this, because not a lot of managers can come into a team and just pull off this kind of thing. This whole shift in formation when you don't have the ball versus when you do have the ball, it's a very tricky to pull off, and not a lot of managers can do it, especially a manager with no experience at a brand new team in a top club. I gotta praise Pirlo for that, and the fact it worked very well against Sampdoria. Not so great against Roma, but we're still kind of developing things. The season just started. I don't think we need to worry at all. Sure, Pirlo's appointment is a risky one, but so far I'm happy. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's very easy to keep Juventus fans happy because of what we went through last season. I gotta talk about how I think Cristiano's gonna have the best season individually that he's had in Italy. I think Juventus have so many great players individually that I think are gonna have a great season under Pirlo. I think they're finally gonna flourish and not be dragged back by Sarri. I think Kulusevski, Dybala, McKennie, Arthur, Rabiot, Ramsey, they're all gonna have an amazing season individually, because I think Pirlo's meant to help them out. Maybe I'm speaking too early, maybe I'm speaking out of my ass, but I think this side could do very, very well, because individually their players, I think they're gonna, they can't do much worse than they did last season. No, but really, I think individually their players are gonna do great, and that's just gonna help the team going forward. Where do I have Juventus? Where do I have Inter? I hate to not be unpopular and trendy and cool. I got Juventus at first. Why? Because I think despite their struggles, even when Juventus are struggling the most, even when Juventus are just at their lowest and nothing's working out for them, they still always pull off wins when it matters. Last season, Juventus were pretty much completely crap. Oh, God. But they still managed to beat Inter, both home and away in the season. Juventus were at their lowest, and they managed to beat Lazio and Atalanta, with kind of a lot of controversy. But what I'm saying is that even when they're crumbling and when nothing is working out for them, they still show up. Say whatever you want about their legacy in Europe and how they bottled the fucking UCL each year. But domestically, these people show up. These people do what it takes to win domestically. Their motivation is not going to go under. With a player like Cristiano Ronaldo and Dybala and the young player of the year, Kulusevski, Pirlo right behind them, coaching from the sidelines, I think this team could go out and win the 10th title in a row. I don't know if I came up with this conclusion because I'm a Juventus fan, but I mean, and I know that I'm not being unpopular or I'm not making a cool ending for this video because, like, of course he's got Juventus at first place. But I mean, I said I was going to try to be unbiased and as real as possible, and that's why I got Inter at second and Juventus at first. If I can add anything to why I think Inter are going to crumble when it matters against other top teams in Italy, whenever it comes to facing the likes of Lazio, Atalanta, Milan, and Napoli, I think that we're going to see them dropping points just because they've already done it against Lazio where they already drew 1-1. They haven't started great. Sure, Juventus haven't started great because of that 2-2 Roma draw, but like I said, when it matters domestically, Juventus are just a tier above everybody. And that's why I got Juventus winning the title, getting 10 in a row. Anyways, guys, that was my Serie A 2021 prediction, at least my top 9. If you agree or disagree with any of my picks, feel free to go down in the comments and just, have a great football talk. Tell me where you disagree, tell me where you agree, tell me your thoughts, tell me your top 9, or tell me your whole league table. I'll make sure to read every single comment in the comment section. Let's hope that this Serie A season brings us a lot of surprises, a lot of excitement, and I hope you all enjoyed along with me. If you made it into the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next time. Cheers.